David Lee, welcome to the BFC.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm going to start with some of your quotes. One is from a recent article on Forbes.com. Analyze your failures, identify the lessons they offer, and apply those insights to future endeavors. Every successful entrepreneur has faced failure. It is the ability to learn and bounce back from them that sets us apart. And if you can, try to have some fun with it along the way. Embracing change and innovation is key to entrepreneurial success. My journey from a company in distress to a thriving business is the result of sheer adaptability, resilience, and a willingness to keep innovating. So, David, tell us a little bit about your personal journey and what has brought you so far.
My personal journey. Well, I can start from the home. I tell you, growing up as a Vietnamese American kid, you either were an attorney, an engineer, or a doctor, right, Eric? So one, I couldn't stand the sight of blood, so I chickened out on medical school. I'm not that big of a side, reader or anything like that. So much for the legal. But I always tinkered with things. I like fixing things, picking things up, Legos, building things. So the engineering made sense. So that started with going to engineering school, getting out. But then it's all about personality, character, and attitude, who you surround yourself with. And fortunately for me, with an engineering background, I got into the professional realm under a sales environment. So most of my career has always been in technical sales. And given technical sales, you're given a great opportunity to confront a lot of customers that share a lot of problems, issues that they come into with, despite what product they may be handling. So from that experience, really allowed me to always think about, okay, how to improve on something, how to even find a shortcut to doing the same thing quicker. So with that experience, I was very fortunate early on out of college to work for a wonderful wireless company out of San Jose, California, Los Gatos, before they moved to San Jose. This was before wireless 3G and Wi-Fi and what we know of internet today. It was just ISDN and modems that made noise back in the day. We were one of the first companies that had a modem that you Velcroed to the back of your laptop, and you got on to like Prodigy, Go America, Juno. I mean, these names go back, and it was exciting for me. That company was my life. I got out of college, great pay, midst of the .com. Everything was beautiful. It was dreamy. You had your friends come have lunch with you at the corporate building. That's what it was like. And man, when it crashed, it hit me. You were sad. People were crying. I don't know if people cry about companies today, but we did back then. I went to Chapter 11 court hearings in downtown federal court. Eric, it was an experience, but that allowed me to see that, man, anything is possible, including outright failure. So if you can accept that, believe it, learn from it, see how it happened, and don't let it happen again. What a concept. That's what got me here, not being afraid to hit rock bottom, brother. That's just a fact.
Yeah, I like your thoughts there. I always say this, and it was from a quote I heard somewhere. Like, I look at now, as I get older, I look at things like if there's a setback or an obstacle, I try to look at that as an opportunity. That's one thing I see on this channel all the time is look at your obstacles as opportunities, and you'll be better off for it. I want to share another quote of yours from that article, and you touched on it a little bit there. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, mentors, and industry experts who can provide guidance, support, and connections is essential in today's fast-paced business world. So could you tell us a little bit about the team at IVEDA that you have behind you and how your relationship is and how that helps you succeed?
I love that question. I'm actually very proud of all the people within IVEDA, and throughout my journey in the past 20 years here in building the company and finding different unique paths and growing the company, I had the pleasure of running into a lot of people from all walks of life and literally all around the world. And I've been very fortunate to make good friends and acquaintances, Eric. The people that surrounds IVEDA now, from our board of directors to our executives to our day-to-day engineers and wonderful staff, I tell you, I'm very fortunate because my senior management and I'm not, guys, if you're listening, they're all at least a decade my senior. So
Mm,
talk about being there, been there, done that. These gentlemen have, in their own right, succeeded and failed many times in their career, but yet stood tall again and built great personal empires. Let's just say that,
mm,
right? Every one of us have a passion and a dream and an ambition.
mm,
And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by folks who have been in the semiconductor, microchip, um, manufacturing, every bit of technology from soft to hard technology, and even in the gaming industry. So we span the spectrum of technology so that when you look at a guy like me, thinking about how I can serve my customers and improve, global applications, leveraging the technology IVEDA has today, I get to look at this senior leadership and ask these guys, does it make sense? And
mm,
that's the big thing I want our audience to understand too, Eric, is there's a lot of things I hear people ask for. But the first question we as the technology provider, as a service provider, et cetera, we always have to ask ourselves too, does this make sense? And I've got the wonderful pleasure of having great people around me, top to bottom,
mm,
that just tell me the truth. And that's the hardest thing. You got to surround your with people who can tell you the truth. If something sucks, you need to hear it. But if it's going to be, wow, this might be it, you want to hear that as well. And
mhm.
that's what drives the day-to-day excitement, inspiration, and innovation for any company. So if you can't feel how I'm sharing this with you, this is IVEDA, man. Our company's full of just excitement, wonderful people, and we're just excited to wake up every morning to do something cool. So yeah, it's not just technology, quote unquote. What type of technology? But IVEDA covers the gambit of traditional PC board all the way to soft machine learning development. So
Mm.
it's an impressive team. I'm very proud.
I could see it. I could get the vibe, man, and,
Yeah,
that is exciting to see, when you surround yourself with, like I said, people that are gonna give it to you straight, but stay positive, and they have that ambition to build each other up. I think that's awesome. I could just see it as you gave that answer. I could feel it right here that you guys are committed to each other and your team's committed to each other, and that's awesome.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
Iveda, and yes, by the way, for those at home, I was pronouncing it Iveda, and he corrected me, so it was pretty funny. So I'm not going to do that anymore. So Iveda, what separates Iveda from the others in the same space?
Wow, that's a tough one. People always ask, so what does the company do, right? This is the
Mhm.
lunch question, the dinner question. After 20 years in the business, we did start in the video surveillance industry. Let's say that the physical security industry. But what makes us unique is just that, Eric. It's the time span that we've been around,
Mm,
right? A lot of people, it could be a double-edged sword, and I'll speak bluntly here. I get shareholders that go, David, you've been around that long. Why aren't you a billion-dollar company? Hard to answer too. And then there's the other side. God, man, these guys have been around a long time. They've got a lot going on, and they, talk about learning the industry evolution. So good, bad, and ugly. But coming back is what makes us unique is just that time and experience. We've had the opportunity when a company claims that they're innovative, you know what that means, Eric? It means that you're going to try new things almost all the time. And then to be frank, without going into fancy vocabulary of business, man, you're going to toss the spaghetti against the wall. You go with what sticks. And being around that long, getting to touch and feel all the technology that's out there, and more importantly, being in front of end users. These are customers like you and I, whether whether we own a McDonald's franchise or we run a government board.
mm.
we're all the same, and we need the same goods. And being around for 2 decades, IVEDA had the chance to grow, mature, and choose to evolve how we see will best suit the future for our customers. So that's how we're unique. We're not just touting AI and IoT and safe cities. Eric, this opportunity for me to share with you and your and our audience is, we will hear a lot of people talk smart cities. But man, you know how difficult it is? You got to understand the city
Mm,
infrastructure. You got to understand who's involved in managing our city today. And then you speak with them on technology that they're currently lacking.
mhm,
This is where IVEDA differentiates from all other companies, is that we're actually small enough to still deal with our customers day to day, but man, strong enough to build
mm,
technology that's second to none. So we're fitting in our capability
mm.
to a growing and evolving marketplace that is global, not just the United States. We're so adaptive. You can see me. I'm meeting a lot of leaders from around the world, and I'm listening. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Contracts don't just grow on trees. You have to listen and develop towards that opportunity. So, Ayurveda's uniqueness, our people are so adaptive. We change day by day to meet a common goal of our customers. That's what's unique. We're not here just selling one type of hotcakes and hope to sell a million times and be an exciting stock for, say, maybe 3 months and then disappear. We're not here to be a stock that's just wow, 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 temporary excitement. We're going to be around, and one day, multi-billion dollars, and people will understand why. They can trace it back to a quality 2 decades of effort. That's our uniqueness.
Yeah, I gotta say, to be around 20 years and have the enthusiasm that you do and your team does, it says a lot. It says a lot about your ability to adapt, and it says a lot about your passion. So,
Thank you,
kudos to
Eric.
you for it, because not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people, like, I work in education. You see the people that don't like education, and they're in it 30 years, and they look like they've been in it 30 years, and they've become a 31-year teacher. But then you could tell the people that absolutely thrive and enjoy what they do, and you, my friend, have that. I get to see it. So tell us a
Thank you,
little bit
Eric.
about, yeah, tell us a little bit about IVEDA Care, and what's your vision for IVEDA Care?
Whew, Iveta Care, an example of evolution of technology. And I'll share a good story. Before it was Iveta Care, and so cool in the recent hype of the industry, you know what it was? It was smart home. It was like
Mm,
Radio Shack Sensors Brothers, keeping it real. Open up a door, a drawer, motion sensing, and it sends you a beep beep. What made Ayurvedic care unique is, finally, I want people to understand, artificial intelligence. We hear it all the time now, AI this, AI that. But man, bring it more to grassroots. Ayurveda care is proven technology, sensor technology, the Internet of Things, right? Here we go again, leveraging these vocabulary. Um, we applied AI behind the scenes to make better sense of the alerts that we would normally get every minute of the day. So instead of our phones buzzing just because something moved, the AI behind the scenes is taking into account over time different patterns and recognizing abnormalities within a living condition.
mm,
And in more focus on Ayurvedic care, what is that living condition? It is taking care of our elderly who are living at home alone. Day-to-day patterns need to be getting up at a decent time, using the restroom, opening up a drawer to get some medicine, visiting the kitchen, meaning you're drinking and eating, and how long you've sat on a sofa, how long you've been watching Netflix. Things like that matter to the health of an individual living at home, right? Both psychologically and physically. Ayurveda care, wonderful. It takes care of all of that. It takes account of all of that and alerts the caretaker, whether it's a personal family member to a professional caretaker service, that, hey, this person is doing fine today based on
mm,
patterns that has developed over time. Or, hey, we got to be careful here because this person hasn't been drinking enough water. The AI takes quality assumptions and puts it into an algorithm of thought to where, hey, in the day-to-day human health patterns, are we doing okay? And that's IVEDA Care. We're trying to bring high tech down to the everyday people,
Mm.
comprehension of how something works. I don't want to sit and drop all the technical slogan and words and this. IVEDA Care is a technology that will take care of mom and dad, will take care of our elderly who's staying at home, and where you and I don't get to visit the house until work hours is done or until our happy hour is done. During all that time, we get the peace of mind that, hey, mom's okay,
Mm.
instead of just a bunch of beep beeps and alerts that we don't care about anyhow. And that's thanks to the assistance of AI making meaningful data that is derived from IoT sensors around multiple properties. It's
Yeah.
very exciting.
And we're seeing that more often, especially with diabetes. People have diabetes, and I know people where they have the sensor, and you could actually link it to your phone. My mother-in-law has one. She has one of the sensors for the sugar, and we get the alerts on our phone when
Yes.
if her sugar's up. So we knew if she had that donut or sweet. Yes, if you're watching, I'm saying no, but no, I think that's important because there have been times I know for many people where you know you could go into diabetic shock or whatever, and nobody's there to help you out at all. And so this is a thing that's going to stay. This kind of technology is going to grow, and I think you guys are definitely in the right place because this is the future of being able to monitor people at home, especially your loved ones, your grandparents, your parents. Especially if you're not there, you could be across the country and be able to call 911 if
Yes.
there's an emergency. It's unbelievable.
The system will do it for you under the proper circumstance. And
Yeah.
it's a force multiplier, Eric, for professional caretakers out
Hmm.
there. We always hear all in the news too is medical care and facility and everything is resources are low. There's a lack of professional support. And this is where
Hmm.
technology steps in, right? It acts as a force multiplier for the professionals that need that type of data and information to better assist you and I and our loved ones.
Right on. I want to go to a tweet that you put out a tweet, and I'm going to read this. It says,
Oh,
we're thrilled to announce that the Aveda smart drone has found its home at an airport close to headquarters. This close proximity opens up endless possibilities for collaboration and rapid advancements in the world of smart drone technology. Get ready to witness the future taking flight right in our backyard. It's an exciting tweet. And so, what does the future hold for IVEDA smart drones? Tell us a little bit about that.
I love it. It is very exciting. Again, when we go into the public boards and read about drones and UAVs and everything, and unfortunately, that's all we ever get to do, right, Eric, is read about them and maybe
Hmm.
watch a video here and there. IVEDA has decided to let's make it real. Yes, we have real technology. We've got real products, and we're talking to customers every day. But one thing that's missing is this: it's that touch, feel, and see. So IVEDA decided that, hey, in our own backyard here in Mesa, Arizona, surrounded by great municipal agencies that in the state of Arizona, police to public safety to private enterprises that have security and operational efficiency needs, they too only hear about what salespeople tell them or what's on the internet. I decided that, you know what, let's get our technology in place, put it to where we can showcase it, have real police agencies and people
Hmm.
like yourself. I welcome you to come check out technology that is working today and for sale today, right? Not
Hmm.
just cool stuff on the internet. The IVEDA Smart Drone is a full autonomous flight vehicle. That means it does fly automatically. You can set missions for it to patrol a facility, patrol a lake, to actually monitor if this car is loitering in an area that it shouldn't be. And it's doing all of this autonomously, set by we, the operator. And
Hmm.
it's great to read about all this. But Eric, why IVEDA so excited? Here at Falcon Field in Mesa, Arizona, very prestigious airport here. We have our IVEDA Smart Drone. How do you call it? Is it parked or docked? I'm not sure, but it's in a real flight hangar, and we have to get FAA approval for flight. I mean, this is the real deal.
That's
And
awesome.
we're very excited to show. And I'm excited because you know why? In even our professional family here and the community, there's not too many people that have these types of drones. This is not a toy. This is the real deal. And we're proud to have it live, accessible, showable, right? What is the word demoable? I don't know, but come by, check it out, and it's for sale, here in the
That is
United
amazing.
States. Yeah, it's good to go. Good for
And that
flight.
and just like we were talking about the technology that we were just talking about before in medical, this stuff is here to stay. This is the future.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It really is amazing. And I actually I think I'm going to coin that was a demoable. But hey, you just coined a new word. But no,
We'll
but
take it.
seriously.
We'll take it.
So you're obviously traveling a lot. And I did asked Rebecca, your assistant, whether or not you've been to Buffalo, but you haven't been to Buffalo. So hey, if you end up coming to Buffalo, hit me up and we'll grab some chicken wings, home of the
I
chicken
would
wing.
love that. I love buffalo chicken wings. All my life I've been ordering it and wonder where buffalo. I finally learned later in college why Buffalo. It's the city. I'll be honest, man. Hey, man, we immigrants learn things a little late here, but I did see buffalo on the other side on Niagara Falls. I was
Oh,
able
cool.
to, yeah. So I was standing on the side of the falls looking over, and people said that's New York. I'm like, really? It's pretty cool. But that's as much as I've seen of buffalo. But I
You'll
will
have to let me
visit.
know when you're up here. I'll show you all the good wing joints around here.
Love it.
Um,
Thanks, brother. I
but you
will.
travel a lot. I mean, you travel a lot. You're a businessman. How many countries are you in conversation with now? And how many countries do you have contracts with? And do you see that expanding?
Wow. When you talk about in conversation, over a dozen
Wow.
countries that are with contracts, and I want to be careful as a NASDAQ company, countries that we have contracts and agreements with,
Mhm.
also a dozen. Okay, also a dozen, if not more. But why is it important that I explain it and share it with you this way? Here's the misconception, and I think most of the time it's in the OTC world, Eric, and I'll speak to it. Right, I've had experience in that world too, and I never, I always thought I didn't belong because I didn't know how to play in that world. Right? Why? IVEDA's been always so busy taking care of our customers, solving hard problems, and man, trying to get technology to work the way our customers desire for it to work. I have no time to be concerned about anything else but what we are deploying and executing on behalf of these agencies, customers, and different, in different countries. So when I say we've got agreements and contracts, it's not like in a miracle firework that all of a sudden there's a press release, boom, they did. You know how much work is involved to deploy an actual technology application down a street corner? It takes time, effort, permits and labor, no matter how cool the tech is. And I just had to share that because a lot of people just think that things happen overnight and expect a public company to put out firework PR, but that's not to say. Hang tight. IVEDA's got a lot of exciting opportunities that we're executing on right now, Eric, and we're operating at a very sophisticated level. I'm happy to tout that. Again, I'm not out there selling a million hotcakes and hope to do it over again next month. We're building solutions that's going to last for the life of the community.
Mm.
Once we put something in, Eric, it's not about it. Oh, you're not going to get bored of IVEDA's technology and products. It's going to be part of your life. So as we deploy what's part of your life, it's going to take some time to scale. But once we scale, I've heard from a CEO that I look up to a lot. I'll drop his name too. He's a former CEO of Telmex USA, Jorge Rodriguez, one of my mentors. I see him as. He says, David, you don't just make an elephant take a step. You can't force an elephant to move. But once an elephant decides to take that step, you also cannot stop that elephant. This is what IVEDA's markets represent. Not anybody can enter the market that we are in because you got to know how to play it. You got to know how to tend to it. But man, once it scales, Eric, it's gone. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to have the need, and it's going to continue to expect more. And when
Hmm.
you're a company that can deliver that, that's where we win.
Hmm.
That's the difference.
Right on. I mean, I could just imagine, the pressure of traveling, and you said dozens and dozens is essentially, traveling for business. And what's it like having conversations with foreign government entities, and how's the reception of IVEDA been? I mean, that must be a stressful thing, But I mean, you obviously have the knack of a communicable ability to work with people very, very well. But what's it like?
It's like going into an amusement park and hopping on a roller coaster for the first time. You know it's going to be fun, but you're still kind of like, oh boy, who am I going to see again? Oh boy, wow, that room is pretty big, and look at those chairs. Oh my God, Eric, it never gets old. When you think you're used to something, you still get nervous. I'm still there. I don't know if it's excitement or nerves, but I enjoy it a lot, and I'm happy to share. People are nice. People are so nice around the world, and they want just like us, just like even our shareholders who are watching this. They're curious, man. They ask me, so David, what's been going on? They want to learn from me what's happening back in the United States, right? How are things? And what do people like to see, hear, and feel? And I get to tell my story. They get to tell me their story,
Hmm.
and then we kind of click. And once you click, no matter what level, from generals to ministers to mayors to engineer to facilities manager, it doesn't matter. Once you click on the human side, you start hearing the truth. You start hearing, man, it'd be nice if I can do this with what I've got. And oh man, I've had that for 12 years and nothing has worked. I spent $6 million on it, this, and that. You start hearing the truth. And given that fact is where I come into play. This is why I travel so much. I'm learning how to best apply IVEDA technology. I'm not going around town touting, I've got AI, I've got AI. Man, what the heck is your AI good for if you can't solve somebody's problem? So that's what that again, coming back to your prior question, what makes IVEDA unique? I'm so excited. I don't know how to express it for you. We've made so many friends and partners and customer alliances that I'll tell you, at time of scale, it's going to be ridiculous because we're doing things the right way. We're not forcing a product to be sold and
Hmm.
getting a PO here just to get excited about a deal. Man, I'm building the future. I'm building a family, a global family of people who understand what IoT, how to make something smart, and actually have an answer to, why do you need this to be smart? What's it going to do for you? What's
Hmm.
the application? So why do I know so much? Because I get to meet all these wonderful people, and they tell me all this stuff. They share with me all this stuff. It's a wealth of knowledge, man, and I'm privileged.
Yeah, in doing this, I started this channel about a year ago, and I started doing these interviews. And you know what? In the traders world, especially a lot of traders came out of the woodwork around 2020 and 2021, and they look at share price, look at charts, share price and charts. But one thing that I really wanted to capitalize on here, and I've done this, for a while now, like a couple months, especially. This is my focus, is to focus on what you just mentioned, the human element, the connectivity. Because no matter where the share price is, there are people with ambitions and goals that put a lot of work into their business. Now, whether or not businesses succeed or fail, that's one thing, but there really is a human element. And I'll tell you right now, one thing that I absolutely love is being able to connect with people like you and people with other people that have been on this channel to learn their story and really like learn how they've gotten where they are today. And I like the human element of the trader world, of the business world, because that just makes the business more, what's the word I'm trying to say? It makes it more meaningful to me when
Yeah.
I could look in your eyes and I could see, that you have you're gleaming with joy talking about your team, that, that, and you still have that passion after 20 years. That's freaking cool. And so that's what we like to focus on here is basically the people behind the business, people behind the ticker. So I have to ask you, what upcoming project that you could talk about is most exciting for you? I know this is probably a tough question, but which one do you think is going to be the most exciting for shareholders too? So,
Well, okay, it's a tough one, but I'm gonna try to dissect this down as best as I can. I like to remind Eric, you and our public that there's been several. I can speak to prior press releases, right? That's normal for me. Okay. I'd like to remind folks that IVEDA's business model operates through a relationship priority. That means that our business model is through a reseller channel business. Our duty is to educate, train, and support our partners around the world. And who are our partners? Our partners range anywhere from a $250,000 alarm security integrator to a multi-billion-dollar service provider. Hint, hint. Recently, a wonderful company by the name of Claro Enterprise, they put out a announcement proudly featuring, and they're owned by America Movio, by the way, Mr. Carlos Lim's organization, a $41 billion telecom. Very exciting. It took a decade to build upon this relationship. But when a company like that puts out their announcement of AI powered video analytics powered by IVEDA, I was very surprised. I don't know how many people got excited, but we here at the company were all jumping all day, right? So, despite what the public's perception is, what the stock price is, Eric, we're excited. You know why? Because that organization and organizations similar to it in all the other countries that we meet with, why I go, we're establishing movement to build a channel that understands more every day what I'm sharing with you, what's relevant to the end consumer. And who are these end consumers? Eric, who does the likes of a major service provider tend to? You start dropping big names. I can't, but you can drop it for me. Just go down the Fortune 500
Yep.
to Fortune 50. You pick one or toss something at the wall, and I guarantee you one day they will have IVEDA's technology within them. Okay? And at that time, should I get permission to brag or put out what's called a PR, I will. But in the meantime, we're taking care of business, and there's a lot to be had, and there's a lot of work involved. And that's why companies have wonderful staff and team members that have to wake up every day, get into work, and do what we do best. That's what makes a great company. So we're excited. And what to expect in future contracts, I'm giving you a hint right there. It's not just one contract. It's our business model representing a lot of business growth. And yeah, when there's a meaningful name that I get permission to tout, I will. I will. But we're getting on top of the enterprise opportunities through our service provider resellers. Eric, I'm very excited to share with our public that IVEDA is engaging with city municipalities across our own home country here in the United States. So here's another thing. We talked about our drones. I tell people, get ready to see it in flight. Who do you think's going to come see the drones in flight? Right? And then with IVEDA AI and all the existing cameras that are already installed in what I always say existing infrastructure across our country and around the world, this is our opportunity. The more awareness we get and the proof of value that we're presenting out there around the world, slowly but surely, the scaling of the use of our technology is already happening, right? So I'm excited for the municipal growth throughout the U.S. from police agencies of anywhere from 10 sworn officers all the way to the major cities, from the I can't name it or else somebody's going to quote me. He named that city. Where's the contract? Come on, guys. You know where I'm coming from here. So lots happening, Eric. A lot is happening here.
Yeah, and I will say, my friends, my fireside family, if whether you're a shareholder or whether you're a potential shareholder, That was a very, very bold statement that Mr. David Lee just made. That's all I'm going to say. And that was excellent. Excellent answer. So I know some shareholders are probably like doing this right now and going, yes, you know what I mean? So great answer. That's right. Now you guys struck a 20-year exclusive distribution agreement, creating a physical security partnership with Logistica Corporativa,
Yes.
part of the Grupo Desan portfolio, effectively
Yes.
bringing innovative AI, video search, and IoT technology to Latin America. Now, you guys expect to generate a minimum of 44 million through the first 20 years of the collaboration. Tell us more about this project and how you see future growth.
Good question. Whoa, what a great opportunity, because I think in any PR, where, as any good public company knows, you're only supposed to state the facts of the actual in print. So we did, but I can elaborate. Grupo de Sun is a holding company that actually is one of the third largest physical armed security in Mexico, and that's relevant. You know why? Because having armed security services is much different than here in our own home country. The license is very difficult to obtain. So in Mexico and parts of Latin America, when you are an armed security service provider, you're serving an upper echelon of clients, okay? Because you're moving higher valued goods. And without sharing too much or dropping any names, how this business or this agreement works, Eric, is Grupo Desan and their companies already have existing customers, okay, that they're physically serving through security services of some kind, armed services, guard services. Now imagine leveraging the existing infrastructure. See, the story never changes. It's the same. It's very consistent. Every one of their customers, and I can name, J.C. Penney, Walmart, what is it here? They have paint stores, and we're talking chain locations. This is where they stand guard. And they all have cameras, right? This company, very innovative, has thought about how do we become more efficient into the future and be less physical labor and more technology involved. What a concept. So they sought out a quality technology, and I was very fortunate to meet the owner and developed a great plan with him. Long story short, Eric, over the span of the next 20 years, there's a guarantee every year that there's an X amount of businesses that will be lighting up or have installed IVEDA AI video analytics. Why? Because in place of maybe, and please excuse the labor efficiency here, is some places might have 4 security guards. Well, in place of, we're not replacing any security guards. People need more service. So instead of adding more humans, we're leveraging the existing cameras on premise, and we're putting smarts and intelligence into it so that it can help improve the quality of service from the existing 4 security guards. You get it? They're holding cell phones now mobile phones now that will get alerts, relevant, meaningful alerts when there is an issue, when there is an abnormality, when there is a weapon that shows up on site. It's totally cool, man. I mean, it's easy to understand, very easy for the existing customer to grasp. So when Grupo Desan and our partner go and renew their existing contracts, guess what? They add this on. They add the IVEDA offering on, and it improves customer service. It makes everybody more aware of how, that they will be more efficient into the future. They're saving more money because it's not human labor that they're just throwing out there. I'm excited. There's a lot, and thanks for asking that, because that gives me an opportunity to add color to the past announcement. So if our your audience understands, that's the business model, and IVEDA engages in very unique, different business models that give us great opportunity for scaling over
Right on.
time.
And it's going to enable people to do their jobs way more efficiently. And so,
Safer. It's safer too.
yeah,
He
and
wants
safer.
to Yeah, he wants to protect his people. That's not just more business. It's
Yeah.
safer the people on site right now.
Yeah, and yeah, you're going to save lives. A lot of this technology is going to save lives. The 20 billion, now is it Taoyuan
Yeah,
Aerotropolis?
Taoyuan, correct. Yes.
Okay, the Aerotropolis project. I'm going to take a company quote here. We are proud to be a part of this massive expansion project, which will help fuel our growth trajectory and will be another showcase of IVEDA's smart city capabilities for similar projects worldwide. We estimate USD 5 to 7 million revenue from this multi-year project. Could you elaborate more on the details of the smart city capability and the whole project in general?
Sure. The whole project is pretty cool. It takes let me see. It's Taoyuan International Airport is in Taipei. That's where if you go to Taiwan and you fly in from any country, that's where you're going to land. Is that's the Taoyuan International. Very nice airport, by the way. So let me tell you what's happening around the airport property. It's like a mini city. People are going to live, work, and play. That's what they're looking to build. And that's why it's such a huge project, one of the largest, I believe, in the country. We're honored to be a part of this as a sub to a sub. I'm keeping it real. We have a lot of quality relationships that need to leverage our technology to go in and build out applications throughout the community. So what makes it smart? Staying consistent, Eric. IVEDA AI, IVEDA IoT sensors, and you probably heard IVEDA Smart Pole, Utilis. It's been around Twitter. These are the quiet movement that we do every day, not announcing willy-nilly to the public. I mean, it's day-to-day work for us. But over time, in a span of 1, 2, 3 years, that's where the revenue accumulates. And that this is not the only thing we're working on, but it gives us the experience, it gives us the know-how we learn every day, and more importantly, the credibility that we're involved in such a mass scale project. We're learning from the general contractors. Think about that. We're not just here tossing products and hope to, no, I'm building a future. When these things come together, it becomes a model that could be replicated multiple times in multiple different cities around the world. And guess what? Any good model, people are going to want the same thing. And when you're a part of something good, it spreads. It spreads very well. We're very proud to be a part of that project.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And all right, let's talk Veda. If I'm saying that correctly, you guys winning part of the 1 billion contract to support veterans telehealth, tech-enabled care. You talked a little bit about that stuff earlier. What part of the contract will IVEDA be providing AI services for? If you want to just recap a little bit of that.
Sure. Well, Valor Health is a general contractor, and we are a sub within the awardees. Very excited. We're primarily focused now, and I can share is that we are on the hook for fall detection. Given all our capabilities, our IVEDA AI video capabilities in public corridors and public areas, I can take any camera, Eric, right now, tie it into our IVEDA AI platform, and I can detect a fall just like that. Just pick any hallway, any lobby area, hospital room, you name it,
That's crazy.
even the sidewalk. When somebody falls, or Target, Walmart, trip and fall, you've heard about that 10 years ago. But now, given the existing camera, a 5-year-old camera, I can take that 5-year-old camera and now detect a fall in real time.
Wow.
That's IVEDA AI. But even better, you can't have a camera in private units, right? In living quarters. This is why IoT is in place. When we say IoT technology, hey, it's IVEDA Care. Remember those old Radio Shack sensor analogy? That's what it is throughout the private quarters. No cameras, no intrusion of privacy, all HIPAA compliant. But with the help of AI in the background, any abnormality of no movement is a potential fall of the, mom got out of bed, but mom didn't make it either to the bathroom, nor the kitchen, or the living room. That's a potential fall without using any video. So we have two technology sources that will go into play in the federal government to offer the federal government a new tool, an application that could be spread throughout the entire countries at thousands of facilities and locations that have dire need for all of this. And that's just the beginning. This contract is not just for this. This contract is to promote remote care and monitoring for our senior veterans. So we have the opportunity within this contract, Eric, to really present all of what IVEDA has to offer. We got to execute on what was asked of us, but over time, remember relationships. Don't ever forget relationships. Once people know of you, once you make friends, you have more discussions. That's all I can say for now.
Right on. Right on. I think it's great. All right, my last question to you. What's one thing you want to share with your shareholders to know about the future and why they should keep an eye on you? Why you're talking right now? I want you to talk to potential shareholders too. Like, why watch IVEDA? What's a special message that you guys have for the shareholders and people in general?
Cool. Well, thank you for this opportunity, Eric. This means a lot to me, and it's very exciting. I do hop on, I think, Twitter to read a bunch of stuff and see comments here and there. And
you are very active on Twitter. You are very active on Twitter.
Yes, I've got a great team. Keeping it real here. Keeping it real here. I've got a great team behind the scenes as well. Very proud of them. Thanks to you. I want to thank you and our shareholders and those who are viewing IVEDA, keeping an eye on IVEDA. I really think you should just keep watching on IVEDA. And those who are shareholders now, I thank you for your patience. That's very key. We're a company that's been around, and we are going to stick and stay around, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So keep watch. We talk about innovation. I hope that in this piece here that Eric has given me an opportunity to share with you a lot of what happens in the background, what the real world experience is like for a company like ours. That means that in just due time, whether that time is 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 2, it's always going to get better, bigger, better, and badder. Okay? Keep watch. Because I'm guilty of it. And please, they're going to fault me, Eric. I'm going to need you to help watch my back on this. I care about our stock price, but man, I don't watch it every day. I'm too busy. There's going to be one day that all the planets align for IVEDA. That day will come, and we're all going to be excited. We're all going to be happy. But right now, myself, all the good people here at IVEDA, we're having a blast executing, doing our jobs and doing it right. And you know what? Just that foundation, the fundamentals alone, is why people should be watching IVEDA. Okay? We're not, Eric, I'm never going to be a guy that call on you and say, dude, I got something cool. I got something cool. Dude, it's tiring. It's old. So I'm very thankful for all of everybody's support who actually knows me and the company. I appreciate all the support you've given us over the years. And for those of you who are new, I think we're going to be a very fun company to follow. A lot of fun.
Mr. David Lee, thank you for joining me today on the BFC.
Man, I'm happy to be here. I'm smiling the entire interview. Thank you, Eric.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to finish with a quote that you posted on Twitter, and I want you all watching at home to take this in. And here's the quote. Quote, remember that sometimes what may seem like a setback in your career might actually be a stepping stone to catapult you in the right direction, unquote. That is a winner's attitude, guys. That's what we're talking about here. That's the kind of stuff I talk about all the time. Look at obstacles as opportunities. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Oh my God, there's more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a great night. Peace out.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric.